Good evening, everyone, and welcome. It's just after 6 o'clock, so I think it's a good time to get started. Thank you for joining us to learn more about the Johns Hopkins School of Education and our Master of Science in Digital Age Learning and Educational Technology and our Graduate Certificate for Leadership in Technology Integration. My name is Andrew Goolsby Cole, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for the Johns Hopkins School of Education. Also presenting tonight is Dr. Wendy Drexler, Assistant Professor of Educational Technology and Program Lead for the Master of Science in Digital Age Learning and Educational Technology program, and Kiana Napper, who is the Academic Program Coordinator for the programs we'll be learning about this evening. I wanted to get started with a brief overview of the School of Education. We, are one of 9 schools at Johns Hopkins University. We began as the college courses for teachers in 1909, and after many iterations, we became our own school and were named the Johns Hopkins School of Education in 2007. The school enrolls approximately 2,600 students that take classes at our locations in Baltimore and Columbia, Maryland, or online. We are accredited by NCATE and KCREP, and all programs that lead to licensure are approved by the Maryland State Department of Education. School of Education is well acclaimed and considered. We are consistently ranked one of the top schools of education by the U.S. News and World Report's ranking of top graduate schools of education. Students here come from diverse professional backgrounds. They could be pursuing a career change, some are recent college graduates, while others are experienced educators and counselors looking for professional growth and development. About 74% of our students are women, and the remaining 26% are men. The overall average age for students here in the School of Education is 29. So now that you're all acquainted with the Johns Hopkins School of Education, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Wendy Drexler.
Thank you, Andrew. Okay, so I came on board at Johns Hopkins, I guess about a year and a half ago, with one of the primary goals of taking what was our Technology for Educators Master of Science degree and doing some updates and a refresh to really just refresh the program and make sure that we were staying current with what's happening in the field of educational technology. And we've gone through, over that time frame, a full program redesign, a redesign of the courses with a renewed focus on the learning aspects of educational technology and the effective integration of technology in classrooms and with students, adult students, and students in higher ed as well as in K-12. We are focused on theories and concepts as a foundation and a framework, but we are also very much focused on the competencies that make an effective educator. An educator can be defined very broadly in this program. We're looking at skills, we're looking at mindsets, and then focusing on content. One of the things that we recognized in this program as I started to look at the students who were applying for the program, we still get about half of our students who are currently classroom teachers. We have students who are interested or working in higher ed as instructional designers or in other roles in higher ed. And then we also have students who are in the corporate, either corporate training or instructional design in the corporate setting. So what we really started to see was a changing role in the educators who were applying or the people who were applying for the program. And even a lot of the educators who were applying for the program who were currently in K-12 classrooms were coming to the program because they were looking for other opportunities, even if they were going to stay within their schools, perhaps as technology coaches or directors of technology within districts. One of the other things that we recently did in the program is align with the refreshed 2017 ISTE standards for educators. Prior to that, the program had been aligned to the ISTE standards for teachers, that was rolled out in 2009. So this update is very new, and we've taken the time over the last year to be able to incorporate those standards as our program learning objectives. So because some of the students who were applying for our program seem to be coming from different backgrounds and different roles, we wanted to expand our target audience. So we are now going beyond just K-12 teachers, tech coaches, librarians, network administrators, also to be able to meet the needs of administrative leaders, people in higher education, as I mentioned before, in corporate and organizational instructional design and training. We have students from military instructional design backgrounds, teacherpreneurs, in other words, teachers who are still in the classroom, but perhaps creating or developing their own apps for use in the classroom, as well as ed tech developers who have a strong coding or computer science background, but are looking for that blend of the educational side and the pedagogical side of educational technology. So the input for the redesign of this program came from not only the faculty in the program and students from the program and myself, but we also created an advisory council of experts in the field of educational technology, and also got feedback from education innovation cluster members from all over the country. Education innovation clusters are something that was developed by the U.S. Department of Education a few years back as a way to bring people together within a local community who have an interest or care about education, and then pull all of these clusters from different local communities across the United States together to talk about educational needs. And I happen to have been at one of the convenings of this group and was able to get additional input from them, in addition to the actual advisory council. So I had more detailed interviews with Kathy Cavanaugh, who was the former director of teaching and learning for worldwide education at Microsoft, Catherine Kennedy, who's the director of Michigan Virtual Learning Research Institute. They do a lot of work on blended and online learning, particularly in the K-12 environment. Mike Lawrence, who was the CEO of CUE, which is California's ISTE affiliate, and George Siemens, who's often recognized as the father of the theory of connectivism and is currently an executive director for the Learning, Innovation, and Network Knowledge Lab at the University of Texas in Arlington. And what we learned from this advisory is that we really need to start thinking more, not just about what's happening in educational technology in the United States, but from a global perspective. We can, we're so connected with each other and the things that we do that that we know that we're also getting a global audience from the students. I know with work that I did when I actually was working at ISTE and worked internationally, that some of the challenges that we have in the field of educational technology are really very common across the world. And we're seeing people having the same kinds of issues with integration, with equity and access, with trying to help teachers make this transition to innovating in their classrooms, innovating in higher ed, or even innovating in the corporate setting. We knew we needed to expand the audience. I had already mentioned the competency-based learning. Other feedback that we got was that we needed to have more curriculum within the program focused on blended and personalized learning, and even trying to define what that means, because we know that a lot of people are talking about personalized learning, but every person you ask, if you ask them the definition, you'll get a lot of different responses. Topics in content areas such as design thinking, the interoperability of the different tools that are used within systems, tool evaluation, network learning, and you can see through the rest of this list that, including like open educational resources, that there are a lot of evolving issues in this field. And one of the things that's really important to us as a program is that we're staying current and on top of these evolving issues. So the way that this outside advisory group can help us is to help to keep us current. And the members of that advisory group change from year to year. I had already mentioned that this program is aligned with the newly released, actually just this June 2017, ISTE Standards for Educators. I encourage you to visit the ISTE website if you'd like to learn more about the standards themselves, but we have adopted them as our actual program learning objectives, so each of our courses are aligned to these standards. And the courses that we offer include a foundational introductory course in technology and the new science of learning. It includes foundational theories, learning, and what we're learning about learning from brain science, which seems to be changing on a daily basis. The challenge around that is knowing when we really have enough information to actually apply that in pedagogy in the classroom versus information that we're learning about brain science that's really so new that we maybe can't quite adapt that for the classroom, but we're keeping an eye on that to make sure that we're current on what's happening in brain science and the learning sciences. We're looking at problem and project-based learning, competency-based learning, design thinking, and all the other things that I just mentioned from the list before. There are some 5 additional core requirements in the program. Emerging issues in digital age learning, and those, again, that course changes quite frequently because those emerging issues change. Evaluation and research in digital age learning, we really want to make sure that we're applying research-based best practices when we apply these, what we're learning in the classroom. We also know that some of our students, even though this is a Master of Science, it's a practitioner-based master's degree. However, we know that some of our students are going to plan to go on to either PhDs or EDDs or higher level degrees. So the evaluation and research course, along with parts of the other courses, but specifically in this course, you really get exposed to the current research and you're able to actually apply that in your practice. Advanced applications of digital age learning is actually an opportunity for you to develop your own either project that you're working on within your current practice or an internship, a self-designed internship that allows you to get into an area that perhaps is your goal for actually going through this program, your professional goals for when you leave the program. So you very much have the opportunity in advanced applications to design your own experience. The advanced seminar course is a course that I teach that comes at the end of the program, which is building a portfolio of all of the artifacts and learning that have taken place previously through the program. And what's nice about this is that it really gives you the time and space to reflect on your professional goals, and those goals often change as you go through the program. So it gives you a place and time to reflect on that, but then also to pull all of that together so that you have an outward-facing portfolio that you can share with others, and that becomes a tool for you as you go forward in your profession versus just, as something that you do as an assignment for this program. And then all students in the Hopkins SOE that are taking Masters of Education or Master of Science courses are required to take culturally responsive teaching. Some of the new course development that we have planned is around learner agency in the digital age, personal and personalized learning, identity and data privacy. We know that student data privacy is increasingly becoming a concern, and the ways that major systems deal with this kind of student data is something that all of us are going to need to consider regardless of where we are in our roles in educational technology. EdTech application development and entrepreneurship is hopefully another specialization that we hope to develop in the future. computational thinking, and assistive technologies. We also, in addition to the Master of Science degree, we offer a Leadership and Technology Integration Graduate Certificate. So we have a lot of students who have, again, different roles, and they're interested in either exploring the field of educational technology or putting this together with another concentration to get a Master of Science in Education degree. So this course is made up of 5 courses, and this is a subset of the courses that we already offer in the program, and you can see them here. But it's the Leadership for School Improvement, Tech and the Science of Learning, Designing and Delivering E-Learning Environments, Data-Driven Decision Making, and Advanced Applications for Instructional Technology. So Kiana is going to tell you a little bit about the application requirements for the program.
Hi, everyone. So for both of the programs, both the master's and the graduate certificate program, there is a rolling admissions period, which means that we will review and accept applications each term, fall, spring, and summer. So it makes it very easy for you to start at a time that's really convenient for you. We offer both part and full-time enrollment, and what that means is part-time is considered just taking 1 course per term, and in a master's degree, you have 5 years to complete the program. With the certificate, you have 3 years to complete the program. Full-time enrollment is considered 2 or more courses. Typically, our students don't take any more than 2 courses per term. If you would like to take more than 2 courses, then you would just speak with Dr. Drexler to get the okay for that. Because we want to make sure it's not too much for you and that you won't get too stressed out with courses. The part-time, full-time also has implications for financial aid. In order to qualify and receive financial aid, you need to be enrolled for graduate school in at least 4.5 credits, which if you're taking 2 classes per term, you'll be covered by that because all of our courses are 3 credits each. To complete the online application, there is an $80 application fee. In addition to completing the application, you will also include a resume, a 500-word essay. There is a disposition survey that you can download as a PDF to complete. It's just 5 questions. Your letters of recommendation. To note of the letters of recommendation is that you should make sure if you're uploading them yourself to your application that it has a physical signature on it. That's very important. Also, with your transcripts, we need transcripts from every single school you've attended post-secondary. Even if you only attended that school for 1 class and got 2 credits, we still will need an official transcript. With your transcripts, it's only considered official if it is in a sealed envelope that has not been opened, and that can either come directly to us from the school by postal mail, or it can be sent via email through, most times, to the National Student Clearinghouse. Also, what you can do, Wendy was just talking about the graduate certificate, how you can use it to obtain a master's in science and education. So the way that that looks is if you wanted to do, for instance, the leadership and tech integration certificate, you would take the 5 courses that are necessary to complete that program. You would work with your advisors to choose 3 elective courses, and then there are also 3 core courses that you would need to complete. And when you apply for graduation, you will receive both the certificate for the program, and you'll also receive a Master of Science in Education. The other way to receive a Master of Science in Education is to do the Leadership and Tech Integration Certificate, and then you can also look at the other graduate certificates that we have available and see how you can combine the 2 of them to help you achieve the goals that you're looking for toward achieving. So you'd complete all of the courses necessary for each of those certificates, and then you take a capstone course at the end of the program to bridge them both together. And again, you'd receive a certificate for each program that you completed, as well as your Master of Science in Education. Are there any questions about the application process?
Great, Kiana, thank you. I want to add before I turn it back over to Andrew that both Kiana and I are extremely responsive and very approachable and very willing to have a conversation with you. And that's for anybody who's on the webinar right now, or people who happen to be watching this in the future, since it's going to be recorded and posted on the website. So if there are questions that you still have after we finish here, please do not hesitate to take down either of our email addresses and send us a note. And I personally am happy to meet with you. And if you'd like to have a conversation, we can talk more about your goals and see if the program is a good match for you. And I will go ahead and pass it back over to Andrew.
Great, thank you, Wendy and Kiana. Before I do move on, it looks like we do have a question from Irene, and probably Kiana would be the best person to answer this. And Irene wants to know, did you say we can only take one class per semester if enrolled part-time?
Good question, Irene. No, you can definitely take 2 courses if you are enrolled part-time. Really, the part-time, full-time status has to do more with financial aid than it does with the program. All of our graduate programs at the School of Education are considered part-time because of the way that they're offered, which is if you're in face-to-face classes, they're in the evenings. Um, but no, the part-time, full-time is really an implication for financial aid purposes. So even if you consider yourself part-time, you can still take 2 courses.
Great, thank you, Kiana. So I'm now going to go over a few more details, and then I'll open it up to any questions at the end. So if you have any, definitely use that chat bar, that chat tool, and let us know. So if any of you are an international student, there are a few additional steps that you'll need to take when applying to the School of Education. You must submit TOEFL or IELTS scores or a TOEFL waiver request form, which can be found on our website. If your degree was completed outside of the United States, you will also need to submit a course-by-course evaluation in lieu of your official transcripts. Please note that we do not offer I-20s for online programs, part-time study, or graduate certificate programs. So if you are looking for a student visa, these programs will not qualify you for that. So please contact the Office of International Services for additional information about that. The current tuition for online courses is $840 per credit, which means the tuition for one 3-credit course will cost about $2,520. We do encourage you to review the full tuition and fees page on our website for the most up-to-date information about tuition and fees, and so that you can understand the complete picture of the costs associated with becoming a student here at the Johns Hopkins School of Education. If you are interested in applying for financial aid, we strongly encourage that you begin the financial aid application process at the same time you are applying for admission to the program. Please note the priority financial aid application deadlines listed on this slide: April 1st, June 1st, and November 1st, depending on which semester you hope to enroll. And please visit the financial aid website for specific information regarding the financial aid application process. You'll also find contact information there for the Office of Financial Aid and details on loans, grants, and scholarships that are available. The link is available on this slide. So if you are interested in getting in contact with any of us, you can reach us at the information listed here. The admissions office is located at our location in Columbia, Maryland, and this is also the address you would use to mail any supporting documents like transcripts or recommendation letters. So that concludes our formal part of the presentation. Wendy, Kiana, and I will now open up to any questions that you may have.
Okay, I see a question about taking courses in summer and winter. That's a great question also. If you take 2 courses per semester, including fall, spring, and summer, you can finish this degree in two years, because that would be 6 semesters at 2 courses per. And just a clarification on the financial aid, what Kiana was talking about there was that typically for financial aid, financial aid often requires that you're taking at least 2 courses. So that's why 1 course would be considered part-time from a financial aid perspective. But yes, and as we said before, we do have some students who will take 3 courses. I typically don't suggest that you do that for your first semester, just to get a sense of what the course load is going to be like. But if you're in good standing and you've been doing well, then it is possible to finish earlier than the 2 years if you take 3 courses for 1 or more of those semesters. Oh, Noelle, that's a very good question too. Noelle is asking if you need to apply for admission if you decide to only take 1 course and not work toward a certificate or degree. There is a way to take 1 course. You still need to go through the application process. I just want to verify with Andrew that that's the case.
Yes, that's, excuse me, definitely the case. You still need to fill out the online application form. The application fee is reduced. It's $25. We do need your official transcripts or your official course-by-course evaluations. And that's about it. We do encourage you to reach out to a program coordinator or a faculty member in a program before you decide to take a course, so that can make sure that it matches what you're looking for academically, and that it's a good fit for you before you spend the time and the money applying for that program. We definitely encourage you consult with folks here in the School of Ed. Oh, looks like there's another question from Irene, who's wondering, is the program strictly online?
Yes, it is strictly online. Every course is online. We have students in the program from around the world. I'm not sure if Andrew has the exact statistics specifically for this program, but I would say a relatively large percentage of students, maybe 25% to 30%, are in the region near Baltimore. So I would say in the Mid-Atlantic region. But then we also have students from around the world. So, other students will ask, another thing I think that would be good to cover, students ask, what is the format? So we have what's called an asynchronous online format, which means that in a week's time, you're given certain assignments. You may be required to have discussions with other students who are in the course, but you can post those discussions at the time within that week that's comfortable or works for you or is convenient for you, and then other students reply, within that week time frame. Most of the instructors in the program also hold either what we call synchronous or real-time face-to-face office hours, face-to-face virtually, and we have a couple of different platforms that we use for that face-to-face communication. That is often optional from an office hours perspective. They may also have 2 or 3 synchronous sessions throughout the semester that are required for all students. We recognize that our students are working. Most of them are in professional roles, and they may be anywhere in the world. So your time zone it could have a big impact on whether or not you can participate in a synchronous session. So all of the synchronous sessions that are required for students to attend are recorded if you can't be there in real time.
Well, it looks like there are no more questions, so I think this would be a great time to wrap up. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We hope you found it helpful and informative. If you have any questions in the future, please don't hesitate at all to reach out to Kiana, Wendy, or us here in admissions anytime. We're happy to help. So thanks again for joining us, and I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking to you.
Thanks, everyone.